Heemo and Shana are close friends who live in the same neighbourhood and used to play together. One day, they're both home alone talking on the phone. Shana shares that she is invited to a birthday party but can't attend because her mother is busy with work. This makes her quite sad. To cheer her up, Heemo suggests, "Let's stand by our windows, light a candle and celebrate the birthday from here." Both Heemo and Shana get their candles and light them. All of a sudden, Shana's candle drops onto her bed. When Heemo tries to lean forward to see what's happened to Shana, she bumps into the candle and her candle also falls onto the bed. Shana becomes anxious as the candle falls and, imagining her mother's reaction, she flees the room. As she's crying, she notices the smell of burning, fearfully opens the door to her room and sees the bed is on fire. She's so scared that she doesn't know what to do. At that moment, she remembers that in movies they use a blanket to control the fire. She quickly grabs a blanket and throws it onto the fire. But since she's standing at a distance, the blanket does not fully cover the fire. She leaves the room again and closes the door so the smell of burning won't reach the basement, her mother's workplace. She goes into the bathroom and closes the door so that she won't notice the smell of fire and can distract herself. All this time she's imagining her angry mother and revising the words she's going to hear about her clumsiness. However, when Heemo's candle falls onto the bed, she thinks for a moment and decides to pick it up. But because the melted paraffin drips onto her fingers and it hurts, she can't do this. With her bedsheet already in flames and the fire growing larger, she realizes she needs help. The first person who comes to her mind is her mother. She picks up the phone, dials her mother's number and says, "Hi Mum, I've got a problem and I need your help." "Hi honey, of course, how can I assist you?" Heemo explains the situation. Heeno's mum reassures her. "Don't worry at all. Stay on the line and put me on speakerphone. Follow whatever I tell you. Go into the kitchen, fill a large bowl with water, bring it back and toss it onto the fire from a distance. Immediately go get another bowl. Please act quickly, sweetie." Heeno's mum, simultaneously calling the fire department, keeps encouraging Heemo through the phone. "Well done, my girl. You're very strong and you can handle this." When Heemo goes to the kitchen to fetch water as instructed by her mum, it suddenly occurs to her that she can save time and increase her efficiency by using 2 bowls. While the first bowl is filled with water, she places the second under the tap so it's filled by the time she returns from throwing the first bowl of water onto the fire. This strategy allows her to extinguish the fire faster. Once she's certain the fire is diminishing, she quickly opens the windows to let the smoke out. By the time the fire truck and her mother arrive, there's no sign of the fire. Heemo's mother, still quite stressed, tries to control herself and holds Heemo in her arms. After she ensures Heemo has calmed down, she thinks about the cause of the fire. As Heemo begins to explain, she remembers Shana and the first candle that fell on her bed. She quickly alerts her mum and the fire department about Shana's house and they head towards the opposite building. Meanwhile, Shana is still in the bathroom, trying to distract herself by daydreaming in an attempt to alleviate her stress. The firefighters quickly enter the house and extinguish the fire. Alerted by the firefighters, Shana's mother ascends from the basement. She immediately seeks to blame someone. First, she punishes Shana with humiliating and threatening words. And when she realizes that the candle idea was Heemo's, she points the finger of blame towards her. Parenting styles have evolved over the years. In the early 20th century, parenting used to be harsh and rigid. Children were seen as objects to be conditioned without much consideration for their emotions or needs. Parents were advised not to indulge their crying child with hugs and to feed them according to a strict schedule. This rigid method was largely influenced by behaviorist theory, with parents aiming to shape desirable habits while suppressing unfavorable ones. The 1940s saw a shift towards more permissive and flexible parenting, influenced by psychoanalysis figures like Freud and Benjamin Spock. Spock believed parents should follow their instincts and use flexible schedules that aligned both with their needs and their child's needs. These liberal attitudes towards child-rearing were further reinforced by influential figures like John Dewey and humanistic psychologists like Maslow and Carl Rogers. By the mid-1960s, a shift occurred again towards slightly stricter parenting due to the challenges posed by permissiveness. Parents were advised to maintain moderate control, firm discipline, and use deprivation-based punishment if needed, while also empathizing with their children's opinions. Diana Baumrind's parenting theory is the latest to gain wide acceptance among parents and educators. Diana Baumrind's parenting styles theory, introduced in 1991, discusses 3 parenting styles: authoritative, authoritarian, and permissive. authoritative parents have clear expectations but offer emotional support and encourage open communication. They explain their control methods to their children. On the other hand, authoritarian parents are strictly controlling and enforce rules without explanation, often using punishment over discipline. Lastly, permissive parents are nurturing but set few rules and provide little structure or discipline. Some studies confirm the relationship between parenting style and children's problem-solving skills, suggesting that children of authoritative parents use problem-solving strategies in stressful situations more than children of authoritarian or permissive parents. Furthermore, research findings show that children with authoritative parents tend to use creative and confidence-based problem-solving styles when faced with challenging and stressful situations. However, authoritarian parenting style is associated with helplessness, inhibition, and avoidance strategies in children when facing difficult and challenging situations. Heemo's mother represents the authoritative parenting style, whereas Shana's mother represents the authoritarian style.